Uh, okay. So that was a message from a fresh graduate who is looking to starting a blog as interesting as mine. So today I'm going to be talking about blogging and how to get started the right way. So the first thing you need to do is identify your why. Why do you want to become a blogger? Do you just want people to know you as a writer? Do you want people to just call you blogger? Or do you want to make ends meet by blogging? The truth is, if that is your goal, then you better just stick to an investment banking job or go into programming, because there is no money in blogging, at least for the first few years, trust me. So identify your why, because it is what will get you going even when you don't feel like doing this anymore. Identify a niche. By a niche here, I mean a specific field you want people to be able to identify your blog with. So do you want to focus on food? Do you want to focus on travel? Do you want to focus on tech? Do you want to focus on health? Make your blog stand for something. This makes you an authority in the long run, because when people know you're focused on one particular niche, they tend to feel comfortable getting information from you and then making use of whatever information you give to them. This makes them come back often to read your blog, and this makes you happy in the long run. Yeah, so now you've identified your niche. The next thing you need to do is to identify the bloggers that are already existing in this niche. It makes things a whole lot easier for you. So for me as a travel blogger, the first set of bloggers I looked up were the likes of Amarachi of Travel with a Pen. I also looked up the Ufoma's blog, and then I stumbled upon the Expert Vagabond. It's one of the greatest travel bloggers around, by the way. So I looked up their things, and I figured out, oh, this is how these people are doing theirs. How can I pick inspiration from them to discover what I can be doing differently? And then that was how I discovered my own style. So you need to actually identify your style by drawing inspiration from already existing travel bloggers. Oh, already existing bloggers. Sorry. The fourth thing for you to do now is choose a name. So in choosing the name, you need to be very careful, because this can either make or mar the future of your blog. So think about the greatest companies of the world today: the Apples, the Amazon, the Microsoft. These names are easy to spell. They are easy, and they are even sweet if you look at those names. So choose a sweet name. Choose a name that when you tell people, oh, this is the name of my blog, they can go back to their houses and then just type it in, and boom, they are on your blog. So if you're finding it difficult coming up with something interesting, you can go to websites like Namelix. They can help you figure out a suitable name and even come up with a logo for you to run your blog with. So if everything else fails though, use your name. I think that's like very safe. Number 5 is thinking up a content source. I know this is not something many people usually do, but it's one of those things I did starting out, and I think it has always helped me, like even till this day. So what I mean by this is, as an aspiring blogger in a particular niche, you need to think thoroughly about, how do I want to get my content? Because if you don't consistently put out stuff out there, people will easily just forget about the fact that you are a blogger. So for me as a travel blogger, I get my content primarily from traveling at intervals throughout the year, and then when I'm not traveling, I go to restaurants to review stuff. And if I'm not traveling or reviewing restaurants, I can either just think of a topical issue in my niche or my industry and then just put them out. So these are the 3 major sources of my own blog posts. So you need to also think up something for yourself, because it will help you continually churn out good contents in the long run. The next thing for you to do now is to pick a content management system. So by this I mean a platform where you can always put up your already drafted blog post. So for me, I went with WordPress after reading several blog posts and after watching several videos on which was better between WordPress and Blogger, because these two are actually the most popular blogging platforms we have as of today. So you can as well read up on every other type we have, but I think to save you stress, just go with WordPress because I've been using it and I don't think I've regretted that action till date. So after having your CMS, that's your content management system, the next thing for you to do is to host your blog and then buy a domain name. So you don't want people to ask, oh, what's the name of your blog, or what's your blog's URL, and you are saying it is www.xyz.wordpress.com. Oh, that's not professional, so you don't want that. So there are many companies who can help you achieve this. Popular companies all over the world, like GoDaddy, like Bluehost, can help you do this outside Nigeria, but I would advise you actually do with Nigerian companies if you are in Nigeria, because at least let's patronize Nigeria. So I host with a company called Acolag Tech. By the way, this is not a sponsored post, but they actually have been doing well with me for like since we agreed to work together, and then I've never experienced any downtime like with them, and if at all I have any issue, like they're always there to help me. So I think you should check them out as well. So that's what you need to do at this stage. So now that you've hosted your blog and then you now have a CMS, the next thing for you to do is to ensure you open a separate social media page for your blog. This has to be different from your personal social media page because this makes you even more serious with what you want to do. I have a couple of friends who started out by building their blog on their personal pages, and then when they realized it was a little bit too late because people have now begun to identify them with their blog, which is not supposed to be. Your blog is supposed to be like a separate business entirely. So a lot of people refer to me as Nomadic Negro because that was what they knew, and I have personal people who know me as Phillips Tunde on the side. So these things are two different entities and they should be treated as such. So try as much as you can not to combine them together. Create a community. Yes, that's the next thing. So I made this mistake way early because I actually ought to have spoken to a few friends and family that I would deliberately tell, oh, please, when I share any content on social media, please help me retweet, help me repost, help me reshare. Because when strangers are seeing your content for the first time, most people will want to retweet if people have already retweeted. Most people want to like if people have already liked. Nobody really wants to be the first person to do something for you, especially when they don't know you. So it's easier for your family and friends to easily share your post so that strangers can get to see it. So build a community. This will go a long way in helping to boost your morale, trust me. Yeah, so after doing all these things, the last thing I would advise is for you to start writing and then reading. Yes, so you can't be a good blogger if you don't read. So you need to constantly read stuff outside your niche, read magazines, read books, read anything that comes your way, because in one way or the other, these things will come together to impact how you put out your content out there. And then whether or not you have chosen to release your blog post daily, weekly or monthly, reading a whole lot will help you actually achieve these things. So that's all from me on how to get started as a blogger that people will not just think is a blogger, but people will actually take seriously as a blogger. Till we meet again, my name is Phillips Tunde and I run Nomadic Negro. Peace.